We back. Day 6. We are back. Day 6, family. I know y'all like, hold on. This is not day 6. This is definitely day 6. Right? I have made, seriously, for the last time, I know I said this before, but I have made the final edits on this book. Notice I have more than one copy, right? They look the same, but they're not the same. This one is like, this one's like 300 and some pages. This one's like 400 some pages, right? I don't even have the newest one myself. But what I did do to make sure that everybody would know which one is the official last version, it has Osiris on the cover, and it has the number 137 on the cover. Right? It has Osiris on the cover, and it has the number 137 on the cover. Let me pull it up so people can see. And just to really make sure that I'm like not like having a you know, like, because I'm addicted to these books, right? So just to make sure, this is what I did. The last 2 edits, I changed the cover. The last 2 edits, I changed the cover. All right. So, yeah, the edit before last, it has Osiris down here snuggled in the corner. So if you have this version with Osiris in the corner, you have the edit before last. If you have the very last and final one, it has Osiris, and then it has the 137 on the cover, right? So this is the final version of that book. And just to make sure that I did not mess with it again, I did a whole nother book. So there's a new book dropping. There's a new book dropping very shortly, right? Make sure y'all go to AmericanHealer.website. Get the merch, right? Polyibic, right? You gotta speak multi-languages. You gotta get your tongue together, right? You gotta work on the heart. The ib is the root word of polyibic, is the ib. Who is here early on a Saturday morning for the drama? My lips too shiny, my bad. Who is here for the bullshit? Listen. Yo, this tastes way too good. I'm used to the Blue Magic taste by now, but this tastes way too good. Something wrong with it. Something is wrong with that, or something wrong with me. That tastes way too good. All right, so today we are going to be in the GOAT book. In case you don't know, right? In French, the L with the apostrophe is the word the. So just in case you didn't know, the L with the apostrophe in French is the. That's how you would write the word the. Right? Well, we know that L is the 12th letter, right? We know that L is a square at 90 degrees. So we got to get busy. So I got a few clips that we will play multiple times throughout today's conversation. Primarily, what we're going to discuss today is water. Y'all know I'm EnQi, the guy. You know, y'all know what EnQi means by now, right? But we will be in, let's see what chapters we will be in today. I think we're going to be in, we're probably going to start on page 175, right, which is chapter 15. And then page 9, chapter 19 and chapter 20. Right? We're going to probably jump around a couple of chapters today. So buckle up. It's getting ready to get real. It's getting ready to get real. Listen, I told y'all we have an identity crisis, right? This is the wrong hat. I need to switch my hat, right? We have an identity crisis. And I know that some of you, you know, when I get locked into an issue, you know, like y'all know, but it's melanin versus diabetes is the movement. Melanin versus diabetes. So we have a black issue and we have a diabetes issue. We have a black issue and we have a diabetes issue. The black issue is causing the diabetes issue. Make no mistake. The melanin issue is causing the diabetes issue. We're uneducated on melanin. We're uneducated on the fact of whether we're black or not. And the people at large don't know who to follow in terms of this health information because of all of this crazy stuff. Now, I know a lot of y'all still love KT. But I'm going to show you something today. And this is going to really elaborate on the problem. I'm trying to tell y'all this stuff. Now, when I tell y'all this stuff, y'all be thinking it's me picking on folks, right? It's not. This is me reacting to the content that's out there. This is me reacting to the content that's out there, right? This is also me explaining to you guys the problem that we're dealing with in terms of health and nutrition. Now, I keep telling y'all, KT was my student. I keep trying to explain this to y'all. It's like it's going in one ear, coming out the other. EnQi, but he's so smart. He's how, Sway? Y'all missing this. Listen. Let me try to do this for y'all one time real quick. Listen. You see me with the guy who is now, you know, in Florida for the next 10 to 20 years. When y'all see me with that guy, he was teaching the most high-level science ever, right? Then when you see me and him separate, the information went down. When y'all see me with old fraud Muhammad, he was teaching the most high-level science he could teach at the time. And then when me and him separate, it went down, right? I drop an album, then a year later, he drop an album. He get tattoos the same as my tattoo. Like, y'all are missing it. I'm Quentin Miller out this motherfucker. Hey, I'm Quentin Miller out this motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? So now KT doesn't have a direction to go in. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. He doesn't have a direction to go in. Right? Because the jig is up. When I said the boy was getting everything from me, he put on this show and went all over the place telling everybody he learning from Sabi. Oh, no, I'm learning from Sabi. I said, now hold up. How you, huh? Sabi said melanin is fake, bro. So where you getting, huh? You didn't get that from Dr. Sabi? Those ain't Rolex diamonds. What the fuck you done to that? So now what happens? Listen now, follow. Now he's stuck out there, and I told you this is what these guys do. Listen to this now. Because we're going to go through it, and we're going to teach, and then we're going to go through it, and we're going to teach, because you got to get this in your mind. These guys are watching the internet. I'm telling you, this is what's going on. Listen. The same way as people watch the internet to steal my information and remix it, I'm talking about your Andrew Hubermans, your Jack Crew, all these different white guys with large platforms. They watch what I'm doing and then take it and steal it and take it back to their audience. Now, listen, in this black YouTube space, these guys do the opposite. They go and listen to the white folks, and then they run back to try to be the first person in the black community to say whatever's the newest thing they heard on one of these other guys' pages. Now, the problem is, listen, the problem is eat right for your haplotype. Listen, we spent 8 hours on day one going through the differences in the biochemistry, right? So now when you got somebody that don't really care, they just throwing information out there, right? They just throwing information out there. It's not going to lead you to where you want to go. And then I'm at home minding my business. Listen, I'm at home minding my business. And I'm getting all these messages. People hitting me up. They going, yo, your man is out here, right? Your man is out here. He's suggesting that people have salt water. Your other man is out here. He's suggesting that people drink sugar water. So I'm like, oh, what? Salt water and sugar water? Hold on. What are we doing? Strokes and heart attacks? I said, oh no, hold on, man. I know some of y'all like EnQi. We don't believe you. We don't believe you, EnQi. So we gotta just deal with some of this information. You just gotta deal with the information. Now, pay attention to what you got on the screen. And listen to this audio.
Water follows. Mm-hmm. If I throw salt on a slug, what happens to the slug? All the water comes out the slug. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if you want your cell to be able to absorb the water that you drink, you need to take a little bit of salt before you drink the water, or even put a little bit of salt in the water.
So say I'm drinking, say I got the Mountain Valley spring water. Mm-hmm. So you saying take a little salt, put it on my tongue before I drink the water?
Wherever salt.
Did y'all hear that? Okay, maybe y'all didn't hear that. Y'all couldn't hear that? Okay, hold on. Maybe y'all didn't hear what I heard. Let's do that again.
Water follows. If I throw salt on a slug, what happens to the slug? All the water comes out the slug. So if you want your cell to be able to absorb the water that you drink, you need to take a little bit of salt before you drink the water, or even put a little bit of salt in the water.
So say I'm drinking, say I got the Mountain Valley spring water. So you saying take a little salt, put it on my tongue before I drink the water?
Wherever salt.
I mean, literally, they just going to watch these white guys' channels and then listen to what they saying. Yo, they just going to watch these white guys' channel. This ain't coming from no real research. We the only ones doing firsthand research. They just going to watch these white guys' channels and then come right back and pretend like they made it up. Oh, no. Let me tell you. Because, see, what you do is, and you put the little salt, and you put the salt on your tongue, and then you wash it down with some water. And when you do it several times throughout the day, listen, you got to watch your energy levels. It's going to be amazing. There's that. Right? So we got salt water as one option for the people. And there's this.
And glasses. You weren't born with cups, glasses, and bowls, and none of that other shit. These are utensils that you make for you can assimilate other creatures, for you can start drinking these things. Just like you make knives and you make forks because you don't have claws like a carnivore, and you make these knives and these forks for you can claw and rip and tear into flesh, showing you that you were not created to eat flesh. Same thing when it comes to water. See, you're supposed to eat water. You're supposed to chew water. You're not supposed to drink water. You do not drink water. Dogs drink water. Camels drink water. Four-legged beasts drink water. Do you know in order to drink water scientifically, you will have to stand on all fours, you have to elongate your neck, and you have to lap the water with your tongue? Your tongue is not even long enough and it don't have the type of muscles that other mammals have to even lap that water in. In order for you to drink water, you got to close your hands together, do this. You got to do everything but what you can do naturally with it to even drink this water. You getting water in cups and glasses. You weren't born with cups, glasses, and bowls, and none of that other shit. These are utensils that you make for you can assimilate other creatures, for you can start drinking these things. Just like you make knives and you make forks because you don't have claws like a carnivore, and you make these knives and these forks for you can claw and rip and tear into flesh, showing you that you were not created to eat flesh. Same thing when it comes to water. See, you're supposed to eat water. You're supposed to chew water. You're not supposed to drink water. You do not drink water. Dogs drink water. Camels drink water. Four-legged beasts drink water. Do you know in order to drink water scientifically, you would have to stand on all?
This is what I'm up against, people. Yo, hold on. I can't even get my shit together. This is crazy.
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's just be real, folks. The Democrats have destroyed our major cities. Their policies have made us less safe, they've given us less economic opportunity, and they've provided less educational opportunities for our children. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I know what it takes to improve these issues. I've got great working relationships already in D.C. I've spent the last 10 years of my life building my political resume so that one of us, somebody who thinks like we do, could get into D.C. and make a difference. I want you to visit aliforcongress.com to find out more about my campaign. The Democrats have already done enough, and now they're putting illegal aliens in front of people like you and me, folks whose ancestors built this country and made it what it is today. So again, I'm asking you to support me in my run for U.S. House District 12 here in North Carolina. You don't have to live in North Carolina to support, because what happens in Congress affects the entire country. So again, it's aliforcongress.com. I hope to have your support. Peace and love, y'all.
Dr. EnQi incarnate as the true and living soul of Osiris. It's been 4,000 years since you learned true knowledge yourself, since you learned real black history. Find out the secrets of your soul, how you are being colonized. Take back your history.
That's the algorithm.
Okay, now we in business now. Melanin versus diabetes. Now we in business. Listen, trust me. Y'all know we in class today, so we not in a rush, right? We're not in a rush. Listen. Majority of our health issues come from the fact that we do not know who we are. We don't know who we are. Now, KT and Yahki, they both debunk themselves in those clips. Listen, I'm going to show you in no time flat how they debunk themselves in those clips. KT literally explains that if you put salt on a slug, the water comes out of the slug, right? He says that in the video. Yo, listen, we're supposed to be studying and learning more as the years go by. So as the years go by, we could look at stuff we said before and be like, oh, no, let me tell you, this is the right thing, blah, blah, blah. Listen, he says in the video, if you put the salt on the slug, the water comes out of the slug, and then proceeds to tell you to go ahead and do the salt and blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't that, in effect, make your cells like the slug? Like, now, mind you, if we're talking about natural salts from herbs, right? Natural salt, totally different. If we're talking about table salt, right? It's not the same thing, right? We know ocean water is good for us to an extent. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you get shot or stabbed and you fall in the ocean, it'll help your body heal and preserve you. There's natural salts in the ocean, right? We know if we have particular herbs or ionic, colloidal, those things are salty, right? Totally different, right? Brother Yahki, in his video clip, he says that humans are not supposed to drink water because, well, they have to use tools. You know, you have to bend down to get to the water, right? You have to bend down, or you have to use a utensil like a fork or a knife. If you can't just naturally consume it, you know, so I'm trying to figure out how are we getting the fruit? How are we getting the fruit? We don't have necks like giraffes to just get to the tree. So don't we have to use man-made tools to get to the fruit? The new book is dropping soon, sir. It's coming. It's coming soon. But the crazy thing is, he literally has a big bag of table salt in his hand. So it's not like, I don't want y'all to think like, EnQi, you reaching, because, you know, natural salts and, you know, different herbal compounds and blah, blah, blah. Right? What are we talking about? I'm saying this is the problem. This is the problem. This is what I'm saying is the problem, just so y'all are clear. I'm saying watching folks' YouTube pages and then stealing the drip, damn near word for word. Look, let's see where it all goes wrong. When it all comes down. Look, let's review the source of the issue. Because this is I'm telling y'all, this is identity problem.
Please explain, what do you mean by so-called African Americans or so-called black people?
So-called black people. Black is the color of my hair. Black is the color of this watch band. Black is the color of the hoodie you got on. So of course we're not those colors. We are brown. We're copper. We're bronze. We're brown people. That's our pigmentation. That's the color of our melanin. We're copper skinned people. The reason why I say so-called African Americans, because not all, but 98% of the so-called Africans that's in America are not African at all. We actually are indigenous to this land and we come from this land. So we have to quit acting like that all life started in Africa. No, all life.
This is why we have a book series called the Race Hustler book series. This is why we have that. This is called race hustling at its finest. This is called race hustling at its finest. We're not black. We're brown. Because see, your hat is black. And your hoodie is black, but we're not black. I don't understand these guys, man. Yo, they should just go get a white girlfriend. Go get a white girlfriend, or go get a white best friend. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe y'all into Chinese shit. Go get you a Chinese girlfriend. Get a Mexican girlfriend. Right? Or maybe, no. Let me take all that back. Y'all need to go get y'all some Arabic girlfriends. Because y'all are in love with the Arabic culture or something. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, but go experience some other cultures. You don't have to abandon your identity to experience other cultures. And you don't have to culturally appropriate. You don't have to be a culture vulture to experience other cultures. But you do not have to abandon being a black woman or a black man in order to enjoy other cultures. Where I live at, it's mad Greek. Yeah, it's like a lot of Greek people around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so go. It's easy for me to go to a Greek restaurant. You know, they got a lot of vegan dishes, right? I can go take some Greek language lessons, right? If I want to go learn some Greek. Yeah, I can get on some Giannis Antetokounmpo shit. You know what I'm saying? Giannis got a new movie out. I can watch Giannis' life story. Yo, you do not have to abandon who you, and this is where I think a lot of this controversial conversation about people dating outside their race comes from. I think that people think that they have to abandon their identity in order to enjoy the company or the culture of other people. You don't have to do that. That's one of the beauties about Masonry. Masonry makes you more worldly. Masonry makes you more worldly because you get into the history of different cultures of people around the world. And while you can feel proud about your fly shit, you can still appreciate some qualities of other people. But I think what we're experiencing here is people abandoning their identity because they got some other shit going on. Now, in every other space besides health, that is okay. In every other space besides health, that is okay. The problem is when it comes to health, what you're saying and teaching has to be specific. Now, again, the problem with KT, he likes to watch these white folks and then run back to the black YouTube community and try to be the first person in the black community to say some shit he just saw on white folks program. Yahki, I'm appalled. Like when I first saw that clip, it was knee-jerk reaction. It was cringy. Like, did he compare us to dogs and camels for drinking water? Yeah, dogs and camels drink water. Humans not supposed to drink water. Listen to what I'm telling y'all at home. I've been doing this so long, right? I done seen guys come. I done seen guys go. We debunk this idea that he's stealing. See, that's another thing. I could tell where people stealing the drip from. We debunk this idea that he's presenting to people as a new idea, we debunked this probably 15 years ago, maybe 16 years ago. There was a guy named Amin Nefer or something like that. He came up with this idea. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on for a second. Are we suggesting to a group of people that have complications of diabetes, largely causing most of the illnesses that they deal with, right? Are we suggesting that they drink only sugar water? Wait. Are we suggesting that diabetics only have sugar water? So, without even getting into the biochemistry of what sugar does to water, what sugar does to your pigments, like without any reading or anything, like just without any study, are we suggesting to diabetics that they should only drink sugar water? Like, so I gotta listen. If y'all like, hold on, EnQi, don't keep repeating this. Listen, I'm blown away. This is beyond me. Like, look, this is beyond me. Are we suggesting to diabetics that they should only drink sugar water? Okay. How much fruit? Let's just think about this now. Let's do the numbers, right? Over here, we deal with the math. Let's do the numbers. Right? Now, if y'all studying, y'all should be studying. No, that's the divine mathematics. Where is the algorithm? Y'all should be studying, right? Y'all should be studying. So if you're studying, how many grams of sugar is your body supposed to have floating around at any given time? Let's talk about this. KT's mistake is not as egregious. Actually, it is. It is. Because he's stealing from the white folks. The salt thing is not as bad, though. It's just he got the big bag of table salt. And it's like black folks got high blood pressure, and you telling niggas to drink table salt. Like, hold on. How many grams of sugar are you supposed to have in your blood at any one time? At any given time, how much sugar are you supposed to have? Right? Let's just think about this. How many grapes are you going to have? I got to write some of this shit down. This is crazy. This is so crazy. I can't even get my thoughts together. Right? So let's calculate a few things. I'm going to let y'all calculate this shit up. Okay? So on average, right, you should have at least a gallon of water a day. You should strive for a gallon of water. Right? You should strive for a gallon of water. So let's say, no, seriously, let's say, like, how much water is in a grape? Let me see. Let's try to figure this shit out. How many grapes do I need to eat to make a gallon? Nope. A gallon of water. Wow, they don't even have that. Oh, well, you need 12 to 15 pounds. Okay, so let's do the math like this. Let's do it like this. So you need 12 to 15 pounds of grapes to make a gallon of wine. Okay? So I need 12 to 15 pounds of grapes to make a gallon of wine. And let's see what the percentage of wine to water. What percentage of wine is water? 85%. Okay. So you need about 10 pounds of grapes. Okay. Let me see. How much sugar is in 1 pound of grapes? Okay, let's do that. Okay, so there's 74 grams of sugar. Hey, hold on. Listen. Hold on now, listen. So if we're going to do this with grapes, right? Listen, if we're going to do this with grapes, we're going to get 740 grams of sugar in. Let's see what the daily amount should be. How much sugar for one day? Okay, so a man should consume no more than 36 grams of sugar. So in a day, a man should consume no more than 36 grams of sugar. But the problem is there's 74 grams of sugar per pound. But I'm not going to be hydrated with a pound of grapes. Like, that's not going to be a day's worth of liquid. So see, it's cute when you say these crazy, when you say these crazy things on the internet to get people to tune in. It's cute when you just throw stuff out there, but listen to what I'm saying. Not only are people having an identity crisis, but they believe that you are stupid. That's what I'm telling you. They believe that you are stupid. Black folks are going to the hospital every day and they're being told that they need to lay off the salt. So why would I take table salt and keep drinking it? I mean, how many watermelons, if we doing watermelons, like how many watermelons do we need? Because I know you niggas like, wait a minute. I know y'all like, wait a minute, but what about watermelons, Doc? First of all, hold on. We're gonna assume that you niggas can fit watermelons in your purse, right? So we're gonna assume that you niggas can fit watermelons in your purse. We're gonna send the kids to school with watermelons in their backpack, right? Yeah, because you niggas gonna have your suit on, and you're gonna carry, I guess, extra watermelons in your bag, correct? How much water is in a watermelon? Okay, we know it's 92%. Low in calories. Okay. We know it's 90% water and 6% sugar. Bang. Let's get this question here. Okay. So we need, okay, this is not bad actually. Watermelon's got a lot of water in there. So if we can get us a watermelon, man, watermelon's almost pound for pound. Watermelon's almost pound for pound. Damn near half a pound. Close. It's about 3/4. Yep. So watermelon, 1 cup of watermelon give you half a cup of water, right? So in order for me to have a gallon, right? I think a gallon is like 4 pounds, right? Let's see. No, a gallon is 8 pounds. Excuse me. Shit. So that's all I need is 16 pounds of watermelon. That's all I need. Listen. All I need is 16 pounds of watermelon. That's it. So let's see what the average size. We gotta calculate this shit out. Okay. So in order to get the gallon, in order to get 1 gallon, I need 16 pounds of watermelon. Okay, and the average size watermelon is what? Average size of a watermelon is what? Oh shit, we Gucci. All we need is 2 watermelons a day. 2 watermelons a day. Shit, this might not be bad. All we gotta do is just put a watermelon in our backpack. How much sugar? No. Oh no, it's getting ready to go crazy. Hold on. Oh no. It's getting ready to go nuts. Wait a minute. Okay, so I gotta do this math. This is how my mind, I can't let it go. Okay. Okay. All right. So in order to do the watermelons, you would have to get anywhere from 160 to 320 grams of sugar to get your water in, which is not as bad as the grapes. Listen, it's not as bad as the grapes. So if we want to get our water in with watermelon, even though we're supposed to have only 36 grams of sugar, the watermelon will provide us with about 300 grams of sugar, right? If we want to do it with the grapes will provide us with over 700 grams of sugar. Hey, so listen, if we follow Brother Yahki, we will be able to get hydrated. However, our feet will probably get cut off, and we will probably have diabetic stroke or go blind. So listen, here's the thing. We will be hydrated. Hey, listen, this is why we have to support the research. We have to support real research, man. We got to support the real research. No, listen, all of the lives stay up. It's just some of them, they get put on the Patreon. So people got to support the Patreon. Please support the Patreon, patreon.com/Dr. EnQi. When you see the videos go disappear from YouTube, that's because they're on the Patreon, right? So you got to try to catch the lives, support the lives, but then definitely support the Patreon so you can have access to everything. But listen to what I'm saying. An average of about 200 to 250 grams of sugar a day, if we're using watermelon, that jumps up to about 700 plus grams of sugar a day if we're doing grapes. How, Sway? Listen, how, Sway, are Black people with diabetes issues supposed to get their water from fruit? What fruit? The math ain't mathing. See, this is why I'm saying you gotta learn your timetable. You gotta learn your timetable, because you're only supposed to, now listen to these numbers. Get these numbers in your mind. You're only supposed to have 36 grams of sugar a day. 36 grams of sugar a day allows your body to safely maintain your ATP production, right? But keep your blood at 4 grams of sugar all throughout the day. That's what you're supposed to have. Anytime your blood goes over 4 grams of sugar, you have a problem. When your blood goes over 4 grams of sugar, this is why people with diabetes keep peeing all day, right? If you got pre-diabetes or diabetes, every time you eat, you going to pee. You going to pee. You going to pee. You going to pee. You going to pee for 2 reasons. The first reason is because your body is trying to get rid of the sugar. Just straight up. Your body is trying to get rid of the sugar, right? But here's the second problem. And the second problem, probably more dangerous than the first problem, right? So when your body gets the high level of sugar, what does that also mean? That means you also got the high level of insulin is floating around too. You also got too many insulin receptors being built on the cells, right? So now your body's trying to flush the insulin, the receptors, the sugar, all that into the toilet, right? This is why back in the days in Egypt and in India, the first two places where diabetes was documented, they called it sweet urine, sugar urine, honey urine, things like that. They had names for it like that because that's how they could tell you were sick. You was going to the bathroom too much and your urine was sweet. How did they know your urine was sweet? No, they wasn't drinking it. They knew it was sweet because all the insects would come to it. And if you peed outside somewhere, they could smell it. Right? So that's the first problem. The second problem is, and you could check this at home, right? So along with the jokes, you actually get real science. You know how we do over here, right? So you could check this. If your urine smells like, if you scared or you worried, obviously go see a doctor, go to the hospital, right? But leave your urine in the toilet for a little while. You know what I'm saying? So you can smell it. If it smells sweet or like fermentation, that's, you know, that sugar is in your urine, right? But now if you pee and the pee foams up, like it gets soapy, like foams up, that means that you probably already have diabetes. You're not in no early stages. You need to go to the hospital for real, because you're losing like protein from your kidneys. You're losing protein from your kidneys. That's why your urine is getting foamy like that. So, and the reason why that's happening is because your kidneys have to do the job of trying to filter out and keep the blood at the right levels. So when your blood goes up over 4 grams of, you know, glucose, and your body then did everything it could do from urinating and storing sugar as fat and doing this and that and the other, your kidney is getting overworked. Your kidney is getting beat up. So now you're losing protein in your urine. So you cannot just randomly listen to goofballs because it sounds good. Yeah. If we was made to drink water, you would have a neck that could go like this. And you could go on all fours to drink the water because, nigga, if we was meant to eat fruit off of trees, then going by that same logic, we would have a long neck, or we would have, you know, everybody would be the same height as Shaq. So that way we could just pick an apple off the tree. You're not meant to eat apples because you would have to be 7'11" to eat an apple because, yeah, you can't even reach an apple. So clearly, because you got to use a ladder to get an apple, you're not meant to eat apples. What? What? Listen, I thought that guy was on those large platforms. I thought he was doing good business. Like I thought, not when I say good, I mean I thought he was selling a lot of stuff. Business must be bad if you got to go on the internet and start making up that kind of shit there. Yeah, we're not meant to drink water because we have to use tools to do it. You know, come on, you got to get a cup. Now, humans don't naturally have cups. We had to invent cups. So clearly, if you got to invent a cup, that means what? Yo, what is happening right now? I don't know about you niggas at home, right? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to keep it real. I don't know about you niggas at home, but when I have watermelons, and I love watermelons, I use a knife to cut my watermelon. I'm gonna be honest. I use a knife to cut it, right? And then after I cut it up, I eat the middle part, the good tasting part, and then I'll eat a little bit of the white part of the rind, right? But I have never, listen to what I'm saying, I have never eaten a whole watermelon rind. Because listen, by this logic, right, we have to eat the whole watermelon, right? Because listen now, if we go on by this logic, right, you got to bite right. You gotta go. You gotta going by Yahki's logic, right? We gotta bite right into that watermelon. You gotta get into that. You gotta go right through that joker. And if you're not meant to eat through the side of a fucking watermelon, I mean, hey, clearly. Clearly, we're not meant to eat watermelons because I'm just saying, I don't know about y'all at home. You know what I'm saying? Because I know some of you guys probably been studying with Brother Yahki, and your research with Brother Yahki has led you to bite straight through the side of a motherfucking watermelon. Oh, nigga! What? I'm trying to think. So, what is on this menu? I mean, are you guys eating bananas? Pause. Is bananas allowed on that Brother Yahki plan? So y'all, like, are y'all just having the whole banana? Yo, hold on. Are we having the whole banana? Are we eating the whole peel and everything? We just How far are we, like, what are we doing? I like coconut water. This shit's getting spooky. Listen, I like coconut water. I like the coconut meat. I went to Florida one time. We had like literally coconut for like a month and change, like all kind of ways. Jerk, like coconut, you could do a lot with. I have never ate the outside of a coconut. I never did that. It took me a while to get the hang of using the machete, right? It took me a while to get the hang of using the machete to get to the coconut, to open the coconut the right way. I was doing the American Yankee shit, the coconut thing, which you clearly I don't know what. So you niggas over there that been studying with Brother Yahki, like, what kind of teeth do you niggas have? I don't. You know what? All of my years of eating ratchet shit clearly must not allow me the strength of jaws or teeth to eat the coconuts and the food properly. Because clearly you got to go right through the coconut. Yeah. No. Because if you're using a machete to open the coconut, clearly that's not natural food designed for people to have. You're not supposed to have that, according to Brother Yahki. Oh my goodness. Bruh. Yo, I'm trying to figure out, what is this nigga doing with cherries? Like, what are they doing with the cherry pit? When you eat a cherry, what is happening? What are these niggas eating? Are they eating the cherry? The whole cherry? Are they swallowing the seed, or are they chewing the cherry? Now, it's one thing to chew up some grape seeds. They little, you could chew them up. But the cherries, what are you doing with the pits of the cherries? Come on now. What are they doing with the date? Oh, wait a minute. What are they doing with that? With the date pits, the seeds of the dates? Because I know that nobody that's studying with Brother Yahki is having pitted dates, because that's not natural to have the pit from the date removed. You clearly have to be eating that whole real date. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get them joints. Yeah, like wait, yeah, you gotta have the whole pineapple. Come on now. You gotta eat the whole pineapple, the whole banana, the cherry pits, the date pits, the watermelon rind. Unless you're just having grapes. And if you're having grapes, that means you're having 700 grams of sugar per day, right? So 7 times 7, that means you're having, what are we doing? We're having 5,000 grams of sugar a week. Listen, you're having 20,000 grams of sugar per month. 20,000 grams of sugar per month. 240,000 grams of sugar a year. You're dead inside a year. There's no way you can have 200. What? Yo, it's no way you can eat 240,000 grams of sugar in a year and be alive. What we doing? And there's no exercise. I'm dead. Hold up. Blood clot. Wait a minute. And not a push-up in sight. Hold on. So we're going to have 740 grams of sugar a day without doing yo, chill. We got to relax. We got to relax, bro.
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's just be real, folks. The Democrats have destroyed our major cities. Their policies have made us less safe. They've given us less economic opportunity, and they've provided less educational opportunities for our children. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I know what it takes to improve these issues. I've got great working relationships already in D.C. I've spent the last 10 years of my life building my political resume so that one of us, somebody who thinks like we do, could get into D.C. and make a difference. I want you to visit aliforcongress.com to find out more about my campaign. The Democrats have already done enough, and now they're putting illegal aliens in front of people like you and me, folks whose ancestors built this country and made it what it is today. So again, I'm asking you to support me in my run for U.S. House District 12 here in North Carolina. You don't have to live in North Carolina to support, because what happens in Congress affects the entire country. So again, it's aliforcongress.com. I hope to have your support. Peace and love, y'all.
Oh my God. Hey, I'm over here having a Fred Sanford, like, yo, my chest, yo, listen, I feel like I'm getting ready to have this is the big one. This is the big one. Yo, this nigga suggested with passion, like, yeah. And you know, if you're not a dog, let's watch this shit again. This shit epic, bro. We gotta check this shit out again. One time for the one time. Come on, Yahki. You got us going on with this shit crazy right here.
You have to elongate your neck and you have to lap the water with your tongue. Your tongue is not even long enough and it don't have the type of muscles that other mammals have to even lap that water in. In order for you to drink water, you got to close your hands together or do this. You got to do everything but what you can do naturally with it to even drink this water. You getting water in cups and glasses. You weren't born with cups, glasses, and bowls and none of that other shit. These are utensils that you make for you can assimilate other creatures, for you can start drinking these things, just like you make knives and you make forks because you don't have claws like a carnivore, and you make these knives and these forks so you can claw and rip and tear into flesh, showing you that you were not created to eat flesh. Same thing when it comes to water. See, you're supposed to eat water. You're supposed to chew water. You're not supposed to drink water. You do not drink water. Dogs drink water. Camels drink water. Four-legged beasts drink water. Do you know in order to drink water scientifically, you will have to stand on all fours, you have to elongate your neck, and you have to lap the water with your tongue? Your tongue is not even long enough, and it don't have the type of muscles that other mammals have to even lap that water in. In order for you to drink water, you got to close your hands together, do this. You got to do everything but what you can do naturally with it to even drink this water. You getting water in cups and glasses. You weren't born with cups, glasses, and bowls and none of that other shit. These are utensils that you make for you can assimilate other creatures, for you can start drinking these things, just like you make knives and you make forks because you don't have claws like a carnivore, and you make these knives and these forks so you can claw and rip and tear into flesh, showing you that you were not created to eat flesh. Same thing when it comes to water.
Listen, I told y'all respectfully, this nigga be high, bro. That's the only thing I could, in my honest opinion, all jokes aside, this is quite possibly a relapse. I can't think of nothing else. I can't think of nothing else. That's not even a joke. Brother need help. That's the only thing I could think of. Brother need help. I told y'all, you cannot go from using crack cocaine. Listen, you cannot go from using crack cocaine to being a healer. If you have crack cocaine addiction, heroin addiction, lean addiction, those are not habits that you could kick like that in 2 months. Especially not turn around in 2 months you selling herbs and detoxes. Like, that's not real. That's not real. Brother need help. You can't think about this. And y'all can pretend like y'all ain't got nothing going on in your life if you want to. But you know you can't even stop watching Pornhub just like that. You can't even quit smoking cigarettes like that. Black and Milds like that. You can't stop smoking weed or drinking alcohol just like that. That's why they have AAs Anonymous and things like that, where you can stop and then continue to get help and counseling until you get a year, 2 years in sober. And then people still have relapses. You cannot come off of crack or cocaine or crack cocaine, and in 2 months, you are a holistic healer? Hold on, listen. You was just snorting crack cocaine, and then and then in 60 days, not only have you totally revamped your body, but now you getting ready to heal the whole world. You that's not it, bro. That's not how it goes. This is why there's such a thing as called paying your dues, right? This is why that matters. This is why it matters to go, oh, no. We seen him, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 years ago with this guy or that woman or over there or studying over here and there. You need at least 3 years, 5 years coming off of a hard drug addiction to even say that you know, like, yeah, these are facts. These are facts. Listen, these are facts. You cannot just bam, you a healer now. You just came off of crack and cocaine, bro. What are you doing? You gotta relax. You gotta relax. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to have a large order of relaxation. You gotta relax. Because listen, and I'm gonna show you where the insanity, like where you go, okay, yeah, the brother must be having a situation, right? The brother just finished doing like a whole bunch of videos saying that you're supposed to be on a juice fast with his program, right? So how is it that he's promoting a juice fast, but also he's saying that you're not supposed to have no food that you need? Like, how are they juicing the vegetables and the fruits without any tools? Because going by his program, you wasn't born with a blender. You wasn't born with a juicer. Yeah, you wasn't born with a cup. How you gonna? So on Monday, and this is what I'm saying. This is what I was saying all these years about these other guys like Ali and some of these other guys. You know what I'm saying? On Monday, you're teaching economics. On Tuesday, you're teaching nation building. On Wednesday, you're selling, real estate and paperwork shit. And then on Thursday, you a master healer. Then by Friday, you're teaching Native American law programs. And, that's not it. See, people could say all kinds of shit about me, but they cannot say that I've been doing some other shit. Because for the whole 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, y'all been watching me on the internet. This is what I've been doing. Teaching about the body. In some shape, form, or fashion, no matter what the conversation is, with me, it's this. Something about your body, your genetics, your anatomy, your diet, your exercise, all these things is one subject. Because otherwise, you're going to start to be all over the place, and you're going to do things like this. On Monday, you'll be saying, yeah, we need to have a juice fast because I've got a program where, I've got this magical juice program where I've cured everything, including my crack cocaine addiction. And it's an amazing program that I want to roll out to everyone. And, everyone should be on this program with, juicing 2-3 times per day. And then on Tuesday, right after you did that show on Monday, on Tuesday, you're going to be telling folks they're not supposed to drink water because they wasn't born with cups. So clearly the people not born with cups was born with juice machines. They was born with blenders. Like 5 minutes worth of thinking. 5 seconds worth of critical thinking. And I know y'all going to say, oh yeah, but no. The brother got other information. How, Sway? No, that's not how it goes with this. It's not the brother also got other. He just didn't know what he was talking about with the water. No. I told y'all when the brother was teaching people that you have a G-spot up your anus. Remember, this is the same guy. G-spot up your anus. I told you he don't know what he's talking about because there's no such a thing as a G-spot in your anus. Now here he goes with the you're not supposed to drink water because you're not born with cups and utensils to drink water. You gotta do like this. So if you gotta now, let's take it a step further and get even more slightly deeper with the thought. Do you know that sugar stimulates the same parts of the brain as cocaine? Listen, do you know that sugar stimulates the same parts of the brain as cocaine? I need y'all to understand this. Do you know that sugar stimulates the same parts of the brain as cocaine? So, let's say, for instance, you used to be on cocaine. There's a certain amount of sugar that you could load up on per day that's going to give you that same type of sensation as the cocaine. Now, if we're having, right, because let's do this math again. Let's go back to this math, right? Now, the high amount you're supposed to have is 36 grams of sugar a day, right? So now, let's say you're doing the watermelon program, right? So you're getting 300 grams of sugar. So you're having 9 times the amount of sugar you're supposed to have, right? Now, if you're doing the grapes, you're getting Jesus Christ. This is scary. You're getting like 18 times the amount of sugar you're supposed to have a day. That is wow right there. Hold on. Yo, these numbers are wicked. These numbers are wicked. Let's look at this, see what's going on. What the hell is going on? Hold on. Research on rats is showing. Wow. So maybe we haven't actually beat our addiction. Maybe what we did is started to replace the addiction This is crazy. This is a little spooky. This is a little spooky. Wow. Look at that. The National Library of Medicine is saying that the sugar can get you higher than cocaine. What? In case you don't know right here, this is fruit sugar right here. This is the fruit sugar. So, like, don't let nobody fool you. Don't let nobody fool you like it's something else, right? Let's make sure we on the same page here. Let's hold on, just so we clear. You see that? What'd that say? Fructose is a sugar found naturally in fruits, fruit juices. Okay, so we clear on what this ain't. We not making up nothing, right? This is what this is, right? Total today, overconsumption of diets rich in sugars contributes, together with other factors, to drive the current obesity epidemic. Overconsumption of sugar-dense foods or beverages, because that's what we kind of talking about, I guess, the same thing at the same time. Because if we're eating our though there are many biological commonalities between sweetened diets and drugs of abuse, the addictive potential of the former is relative to the latter. How? Oh, the addictive potential of the former relative to the latter is currently unknown. Conclusion. Our findings clearly demonstrate that intense sweetness can surpass cocaine reward. Even in drug-sensitized and addicted individuals, we speculate that the addictive potential of intense sweetness results from an inborn hypersensitivity to sweet tastings. In most mammals, including rats and humans, sweet receptors evolved in ancestral environments poor in sugars and are thus not adapted to high concentrations of sweet tastings. The supranormal stimulation of these receptors by sugar-rich diets, such as those now widely available in modern societies, would generate a supranormal reward signal in the brain with the potential to override self-control mechanisms and thus lead to addiction. Wow. That is crazy. Drug-naive rats with no prior experience with refined sugar or artificial sweetener were allowed to choose 8 times per day between 2 mutually exclusive levers. Responding on one lever was rewarded by a behaviorally effective dose of cocaine, while responding on the other lever was rewarded by a 20s access to water sweetened with saccharin. Wow, sugar water. Interesting. Importantly, each day before making their choices, rats were allowed to alternatively sample each lever 2 times to learn the respective reward value. Different groups of animals were tested under 3 reward conditions. Under the SC plus condition, only responding on lever C was rewarded by cocaine delivery. Responding on lever S was not rewarded. Under the S plus C condition, only responding on lever S was rewarded by sugar water. Responding on lever C was not rewarded. Finally, under S plus and C plus condition, both levers were rewarded by their corresponding rewards. There was more rats in the S minus plus C or the S plus C plus condition than in the S plus C minus condition because more experiments were conducted in these former conditions to assess determinants of choice between sugar water, saccharin-loaded water, and cocaine. That is crazy. I mean, we read the conclusion already, so we already got the results. We just was getting the experiment. Virtually all rats preferred the saccharin over intravenous cocaine. The preference for saccharin is not attributable to its unnatural ability to induce sweetness without subsequent calorie input, because the same preference was also observed with an equally potent concentration of sucrose, a natural sugar. That takes that comment off the table. Somebody will go, oh, wait a minute, it's no saccharin. Well, now you got sucrose, a natural sugar. Same results. Importantly, the preference for saccharin sweet taste was not surmountable by increasing the doses of cocaine. What? Chill, bro, chill. Yo, we gotta relax.
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's just be real, folks. The Democrats have destroyed our major cities. Their policies have made us less safe. They've given us less economic opportunity, and they've provided less educational opportunities for our children. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I know what it takes to improve these issues. I've got great working relationships already in D.C. I've spent the last 10 years of my life building my political resume so that one of us, somebody who thinks like we do, could get into DC and make a difference. I want you to visit aliforcongress.com to find out more about my campaign. The Democrats have already done enough, and now they're putting illegal aliens in front of people like you and me, folks whose ancestors built this country and made it what it is today. So again, I'm asking you to support me in my run for U.S. House District 12 here in North Carolina. You don't have to live in North Carolina to support, because what happens in Congress affects the entire country. So again, it's aliforcongress.com. I hope to have your support. Peace and love, y'all.
We're going to relax, bro. Peace and love to, we're going to relax. Listen, take out your book. You think that's what the problem is? You think that's what the problem is right now? That they trying to numb the pain? I don't know. Listen, we're going to start. Take out your book. We're going to start on page 173. Auto initiation. Yes, initiation. Auto initiation. Right? Auto initiation. Self-ionization of water is an ionization reaction in pure water or in aqueous solution in which a water molecule, H2O, deprotonates, right? Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about what makes water magical. Why we call the blue magic, right? Listen, we off that. Come on now. I need y'all to focus in. Come on now. We got to do work. I need y'all to focus in, man. That was 90 minutes of pure madness, bro. Y'all got to stop sending me these video clips, though. That's the problem is y'all be sending me these clips. Because y'all watching. If y'all stop watching that foolishness, y'all won't see those clips. Right? So listen, when we're talking about water, right? Deprotonates, right? Say it that way. Deprotonates, right? Make the prefix super pronounced, make the suffix super pronounced so you get what's happening. Sometimes the big words will explain themselves if you do it that way. Right? You sound more literate, but you'll get more out of it, right? When you're talking about deprotonating, that means the water is structuring itself. So if you're studying and you see these types of terms, let it trigger your mind to think EnQi cycle. Let it trigger your mind to think coherent domain. Let it trigger your mind to think free electrons, right? Let it trigger your mind to think about the FO clock at the bottom of cytochrome 5, the ATP synthase, right? F means 6. F0 is another 60, right? 12 chambers, right? It's powered by protons. So when you have water inside the cell structuring itself, the electrons pool, melanin harnesses those electrons, feeds them to NAD. NAD can feed those to NRF2, sirtuins, mitochondria, etc. That's the EnQi cycle, the front end. On the back end of the EnQi cycle is the free pool of protons that the mitochondria use to power, right? The hydrogen nucleus, H+, immediately protonates another water molecule to form a hydronium cation, H3O+. It is an example of autoprotolysis and exemplifies the amphoteric nature of water. In chemistry, an amphoteric compound, from the Greek amphi, meaning both, is a molecule or ion that can react both as an acid and as a base or alkaline. Water can function as an alkaline or an acid. This is the beauty of water. Water can create its own current, right? What exactly this can mean depends on which definitions of acids and bases are being used. Water is our original mother. The ma and son that you hear in some circles refer in a scientific sense to water. Children of water are men. Children of men are the world. Sounds good, right? Why is a lodge blue? The Hebrew word for blue, when referring to spiritual matters, is tekhelet, derived from a root word meaning perfection. Let that sink in for a second. Right? Let that sink in for a second. You should have a couple of reference points for that, depending on where you at. If you guys are initiated into lodges or whatever the case may be, or if you're into your Kemetic studies, right? Or if you're into religious studies, because we know all occult studies, religions, and all of those things are varying, they're studying the Osiris story, period. Right? But again, let's go back to that again. Why is the lodge blue? Right? If you don't know, we're on the third paragraph on page 175. Why is the lodge blue? The Hebrew word for blue when referring to spiritual matters is tekhelet, derived from a root word meaning perfection. In the Bible, we have the world's most popular initiations being done in water. Right? So we might have missed that in the Bible, that Jesus, the most popular guy on earth, the Bible is the most popular book on earth, the star of it has to be, right? Most popular man in written history, right? He doesn't have any swag, drip, miracles, magic. Nothing happens with Jesus until after he has a ritual in special water. Right? So even if you're not paying attention, the Bible is still telling you somehow that the magic of life is still in the water. The creation story in the beginning starts with separating the waters above from the waters below. So no life can happen without structuring of water. Literally, the creation story in Genesis is what? A structuring water story. Go and get your gold book out. Go and get your gold book out. Go to page, pull out your gold book. If you don't have the gold book, you need to go get your gold book. The gold book has all of the program in it. Right? Hold on. Yeah, my books, I be destroying these books. Like, there's so much notes written here and there. All right, that's day 4 of creation. All right. So on page 123, what's the odds, right? On page 123, you start there, right? And we go through the 6 days of creation in terms of the creation story being about the structuring of water process. Think about this. When you structure water, right? Structuring water, it doesn't, it's magical, but the magic is limited, right? So one part of structuring water is this is how cells clean themselves, right? Because when the water separates, it pushes anything that's not water out, right? So if you're dealing with a finite space, when it pushes these things that are not itself like together to the side, in the world, that's how we get land masses. Literally, the process of the planet's water structuring themselves created the continents. In your body, this is how you get like growths and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because your body is pushing this shit that it doesn't really have a context for. Like, it's like kids cleaning up their room and they just like throw stuff in the closet. You know what I'm saying? The first time they do it is not too bad, but after a few weeks, when they look in the closet, they open the closet, there's mad stuff in there. It's kind of how you get, you know. So if you go to Genesis, the Bible starts with structuring water, literally. Separating the waters from above from the waters below. How do you do that? That is charge separation. That is charge separation, family. Yep. And then after my man gets baptized in the water, we doing photosynthesis, right? We're converting water into fruit, right? Okay. So if you want to go through the whole 6 days, we're not going to do that right now. We probably will at some point, but that's in the gold book, page 123. Right? If you don't have the gold book, go get the gold book, because the gold book has the whole program in terms of diet, exercise, nutrition. The whole 120-day blueprint is here. All right. All right. So where we at? All right. So there's no Jesus character without the water serving as a special conduit for God. Get it? If the blessings follow the water, right? That means that the water is somehow a conduit for God, because he doesn't have the blessing or the anointing. He doesn't have that before the water. So obviously it's the water itself conferring or activating some principle that's already in him. Right? Now, I know there's some of you that's going to say, but wait a minute, there's some other books and some other stories that Jesus was performing miracles when he was a kid and blah, 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 blah. Let's do this, right? On the one hand, we can say that those stories are made up gobbledygook, right? But then some people would say all these stories are made up. So we're not going to do that. What we will say is, if those stories are not in the Bible, right, then we'll say for whatever reason, the authors or editors of the Bible wanted to tailor a specific message about water, hidden in the backdrop of the story. Hidden in the backdrop of the story, right? Because it starts with separating the waters above from below. And then when we go through the whole, I guess, thousands of pages, right? If you ask a Christian, everything that happened in the Old Testament is only significant because it led to Jesus. So we're not going to debate that or debunk or, you know, like we're not pro, again, we're not doing it. But if you ask a Christian, the whole stories of the Old Testament is just the history of the world leading up to Jesus, which is the reason why those things are significant. So if the events leading up to Jesus start with water, and then his acts start, his magical acts, his acts of being able to save start with water, right? There's a story just beneath the surface that's trying to tell you something about the water, right? So water is important. If we go to John chapter 7, verse 38, and we do our timetable, we know that one molecule of glucose gives us 38 units of ATP, just saying. Whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water. John chapter 7, verse 38. Whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water. Whoever believes in me, as scripture has said, rivers of living water will flow from within him. The one who believes in me, from his innermost being will flow rivers of living water. The one who believes in me, as the scripture has said, will have streams of living water from. What I'm doing here, just in case y'all don't understand, this is not me like thinking out loud like I sometimes do. Hopefully y'all got y'all books, right? This is me reading the various translations so that we make sure we don't get nothing wrong or twisted. You know, when you look stuff up now in the digital world, in the Bible, it gives you a bunch of different translations, like 10 to 20 different translations from the original Greek or Hebrew, right? Or assumed Hebrew, but actually the Septuagint. It gets, so they give you a bunch of different translations. So that's what we're going through, right? The one who believes in me, as the scripture has said, will have streams of living water flow from deep within him. Anyone who believes in me may come and drink, for the scriptures declare rivers of living water will flow from his heart. In the King James Version, it says, he that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. The amphoteric nature of water may be its most magical quality or characteristic. This means water can form its own active circuits of light and life. Okay? So this is why I'm saying, and this is where, you know, I have contention with a lot of different other people and teachers and blah, blah, blah. These stories sound goofy or crazy on the surface, but if we pay attention to them, and I get the problem is that these guys don't know biochemistry. So some of these stories that sound crazy, it's because if you make them people it does sound crazy, right? If you make these stories people, then it's going to sound crazy, right? Because we don't have disciples with water, you know, like we don't have stories of that. Disciples with water, you know. The disciples believed in Jesus. Why the water wasn't falling out of their belly? Like, I mean, was Jesus lying to niggas? Making up? Is this the book of Clarence? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, this is biochemistry, right? The ability to break down into its own acid and alkaline, right? The ability to break down into its own acids and alkaline. Remember, you have to have acids and alkaline in the biological system to create a circuit. This is why your body is made out of acid. So you want to have a diet that provides you a lot of alkaline stuff, not exclusively, but also so you can feed the body, right? The alkaline items are going to donate electrons that your body needs to animate itself. Literally, you have an electron transport chain in mitochondria, right? So that's, but you also need the acids to continually repair the system, right? Everyone speaks the acid and alkaline talk in regard to electrons. However, we know that the FO wall clocks run on protons. Base, a conceptual structure or entity on which something draws or depends. Something used as a foundation or starting point for future work. A basis, a group of people regarded as supporting an organization, for example, by buying its products. A place used as a center of operations by the armed forces or others. A headquarters, the main place where a person works or stays. A substance capable of reacting with an acid to form a salt. Let's do that again. A substance capable of reacting with an acid to form a salt. Now, this is why we didn't spend 90 minutes on KT. KT's problem is not that he suggested drinking salt water, right? You know Mama Atomics is salty, right? You know it's a whole bunch of different natural. The problem is we got you red-handed, bro. You're busted. We got you remixing the white folks program and coming right to the black community like this is your information. You're busted. And then you got a big bag of table salt in your hand. But anyway, alkalines, right? And the only reason I brought that back to my mind is because right here, we're on page 177. We're going through the definition of base. So we understand base, all of its definitions, right? We're getting it. So alkalines, bases in science, react to form salt and water, right? We got it, right? This is why when you have natural things, especially certain bitter items, right? Or of accepting or neutralizing hydrogen ions, a purine, a pyrimidine group in a nucleotide or nucleic acid. The middle part of a bipolar transistor, separating the emitter from the collector. See, this is important right here because now we're getting into that spine. Where's that book at? See, now we're getting into alkaline base in regard to the JED pillar, right? This is why we kind of got to go through this information slow because it's loaded with, you know what I'm saying? That's why I have the definition and all the definitions or maybe not all, but you know, a good variety of base, so you can see how many different ways it applies, right? From supporting the movement all the way down to forming part of a biological circuit, to being a part of the middle part of a bipolar transistor, separating the emitter from the collector, the root or stem of a word or derivative, right? So now we're talking about etymology. A number used as the basis of a numeration scale. Now we're talking about mathematics. To have as the foundation for something. Use as a point from which you can develop. Now we're talking about geometry. We're also talking about astronomy, right? Right, because that's literally masonry in regard to what you do with your square and your compass, a point, and then you got this. A point from which something can develop. Situate as the center of operations, not made of a precious metal. A proton acceptor is another name for a base, which is the opposite of an acid. In the Bronsted-Lowry definition, a base is a negatively charged ion that will react with or accept a positively charged hydrogen ion. Water is most definitely the base and basis for all life, literally and figuratively. You have the science in front of you right now. Water being amphoteric means it could literally create its own physical circuitry and then provide its own charge, right? So now what are we talking about? The Ouroboros, right? Right? Didn't your ancestors give you that? The niggas, the snake swallowing its own tail, right? This is yet another scientific fact that can be alluded to in the nature of the snake swallowing its own tail. Like the electric field of the day or the magnetosphere. Amino acids are organic compounds that contain both amino and carboxylic acid functional groups. Although over 500 amino acids exist in nature, by far the most important are the 22 amino acids incorporated into proteins. Only these 22 appear in the genetic code of life. Okay. We get to going crazy on protein from 178. Oh no, we get to going crazy. Nucleotide sequence, ribosomes, chaperones, protein, nuclear. High protein diet. Okay, chemiluminescent college, human engineering, page 250. Okay, hold on. Here we start to talking about enzymes, right? So we build our understanding from page 175. We start talking about water, and then we start getting into proteins, right? And there's a reason why, right? We start with amino acids, then we get into protein, then we get into protein consumption, the different foods, blah, 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 blah. If you got your book, then you know these things, right? Then we get to page 250. Chemiluminescent college is the chapter. And we start to talk about enzymes. Very important, because enzymes are a particular group of protein that allows for your biochemical reactions to happen fast enough so that you can be alive. Now, mind you, all of these proteins are built by water. which is the reason why we have this conversation in this order. Right? But I want to skip the enzymes section for now. Okay, we're going to go straight to page 277. So we're going to skip about 100 pages. We're going to skip about 100 pages, and we're going to go to 277. Blue Magic 101. What is blue magic? Water masonry. The cell is the most advanced builder on Earth. This is where we're starting at. Blue Magic 101. The cell is the most advanced builder on Earth.
Charles to get more than that interview. Oh Lord, that's crazy.
I done got 40,000 for an interview.
Damn.
I went to California last year. Right after the BET Awards, man. I was right, man, 40,000. Nigga, I did a 8-hour interview.
Faith and love, love and faith, faith and love, love.
What is blue magic? Water masonry. The cell is the most advanced builder on Earth. The title master builder could only be donned by a builder that builds itself and repairs itself while in motion on the job. We're going to repeat that. The title master builder could only be donned by a builder that builds itself from scratch. This is extremely high level fly shit. This is why I can study this stuff ad infinitum or ad nauseum, because it's as exciting to me as watching BMF. Just in case y'all didn't know, the new season just started. BMF season 3 is out. Hey, listen, it's balance. Ma'at is what we need. Balance. Okay? So you cannot watch hours of Dr. EnQi without watching a little. You gotta watch a little BMF. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, slip it in. Pause. Right? No, seriously, listen. Page 277. What is blue magic? Water masonry. The cell is the most advanced builder on Earth. The title master builder could only be donned by a builder that builds itself and repairs itself while in motion on the job. What if you saw a car doing 65 miles an hour on the freeway with the hood up, with a mechanic under the hood doing a tune-up or changing the tire while the car was going 65 miles an hour? Like, you can't even think of that in your mind. Like, how is the car going 65 miles an hour while a nigga changing the tire? I don't know. How does your cell do it? Every day. How do your cells do that, right? This car, now think about this. We're going back to this car. Wait. No. I'm skipping. The car is going 65 miles an hour on a flat tire, right? Now think about this. The car doesn't have a spare tire. It's on a flat tire and it has to change the tire while doing 65 miles an hour, but it doesn't even have a flat tire. So guess what? It doesn't have any tools either. So the car going 65 miles an hour, right? Check this flash it out. This is what your cells do. This is how amazing the cells are, right? Your cell is a car going 65 miles an hour with a flat tire. The shit don't got no extra tires and it don't have no tools, no jack, no nothing. So while going 65 miles an hour, when the tire explodes, The cell can't swerve off the road and crash. It's still got to maintain going 65 miles an hour with no problem. The shit has to create a tire on the spot. Then it has to make the tools on the spot that's going to be needed to change the new tire with the old tire on the spot. All of this has to happen while it's still going 65 miles an hour. Each cell has its own planet Earth inside of it. Each cell has its own population numbering in the millions. Each cell in the body could be seen as orbiting the heart because they send and receive energy as well as information from the heart. Orbit means to fly or move around in a circle, a sphere of activity, interest, or application. I would say that outside of the blood cells, right, your body cells are within the sphere of activity of the heart, right? Each cell in the body can be seen as also having its own space. Each cell in the body can be seen to create its own and maintain its own shape. Each cell in the body can be seen to have its lands and bodies of water. The current best estimate is that the average body contains 37 trillion cells. Human cells, right? There are more cells that make up the human body than the number of seconds in 1 million years. And about 372 times as many cells make in just one body than there are stars in our home galaxy. Think about these numbers. Human cells come in a range of sizes, though most are too small to be seen with the naked eye. The main exception to that is the ovum, or the egg cell, which is among the largest cells in the body at 100 micrometers, right? Rival to the unusually large size of the ovum are motor neurons emanating from the spinal cord down to the big toe. They're about 100 times thinner in diameter than the ovum, but have a single projection running the length of the leg, reaching up to 1 meter. Most other human cells average 10 to 100 microns in diameter. Now look at that kinetic science right there. Think about that. I know y'all like, wait, kinetic science? What would just? Oh, you mean the measurements? Because in Kemet, they invented the centimeters and all that? Yeah. No. But listen to what I'm saying. The royal leg in Kemet was the size of a leg. The royal leg. Now, it just so happens, think about this, because now everything was based off of Osiris. Osiris is the goat, the god. You know what I'm saying? Like, so think about this, the royal leg, 1 meter. How did they know that you got a neuron that's that size? I know, coincidence. They didn't know. Yeah, they didn't know. It just so happened to be the exact same size. Yeah, okay. We're going to roll with it. It's a whole lot of coincidences. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, the inside of a cell is like an underwater city. Instead of buildings, there are small structures called organelles and millions of protein molecules, both tethered and floating around, swimming through the fluid inside the cell. The city center of the cell is walled off by another fatty membrane, shielding the nucleus from within the rest of the activity inside the cell. Inside that nucleus, the cell's genetic instructions coil and uncoil as needed to direct the orchestra of activity in each cell. Each time the cell divides, right, Hebrew, crossing over, Each time the cell divides, it makes a copy of its genetic material, so there is enough to be passed on to the new cell. While there are many proofreading steps to reduce errors in the process of duplicating DNA, there are approximately 120,000 copying mistakes across the 6 billion base pairs in the genetic code every time a cell divides. Historically, the answer has been that there are about 200 different types of cells in the human body, but new technology in the last decade has uncovered many more than that, totaling a couple of thousand. Each cell in the body can be seen to be building motors, platforms, compartments, rooms, crystals, nucleotides, enzymes, girders, lipids, proteins, peptides, hormones, sugar polymers, machines, scaffolding, and much more. Each cell is a unique body of water. Each cell builds sugars, nucleotides, and small projections atom by atom. Remember, cells don't actually use minerals. We just use that word incorrectly and throw that around, right? So all these structures, the cell is building atom by atom. This is literally the most advanced chemistry on Earth and cannot be duplicated in a laboratory by humans. So all of you goofballs that's worried about nanotechnology because you keep watching them same channels that KT been watching. No, I know what y'all doing. Y'all watching this other nigga. What's his name? Soon as Jordan Maxwell passed away, he jumped right in there. Like, I'm going to be the black Jordan Maxwell. Yeah, man. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Scammy Dave. No. What's his name? He talk about the aliens and this and that. Y'all watching these guys too much. I can't even think of his nigga name. I can't even think of his name. Y'all know his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Stop watching them goofy channels. Right? The large, because I seen the video over there. He talking about you can drink a certain drink, and that's gonna flush out the nanobots from the large projects are different. Proteins and nucleic acids require more work. These start with amino acids and nucleotides, and nucleotides start out as nucleosides. This constant construction is really the blue magic of life, right? The blue collar work, blue magic. Water is the master builder. This starts with its amphoteric nature and ends with the EnQi cycle. Why would such a genius engineer as a human cell be able to create such robots and machines without a way to supply them with power or the ability to work? Charter. Here again, I must point you to the EnQi cycle. The amphoteric nature of water is where its ability to structure itself originates. Structure, the arrangement of and relations between the parts or elements of something complex. A building or other object constructed from several parts, the quality of being organized. Construct or arrange according to a plan. Give a pattern or organization to, right? So when they talk about water structuring itself, water has to have a blueprint. Blueprint for blue magic. Listen, if y'all don't go to the website right now and order y'all 6-packs, I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all better go to AmericanHealer.website right now.
That's the algorithm. That's the algorithm.
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's just be real, folks. The Democrats have destroyed our major cities. Their policies have made us less safe, they've given us less economic opportunity, and they've provided less educational opportunities for our children. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I know what it takes to improve these issues.
That's the algorithm.
That's the algorithm. Right? We got to have somebody in office.
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate.
That's the algorithm.
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in.
That's the algorithm.
I mean, literally, he's running for House District 12. I mean, we may have been overlooking the actual definition of structuring when we discuss water. Water's ability to structure or build itself is blue magic. Water's ability to structure or build itself is Freemasonry. On page 236 in Race Hustlers, Volume 5, The Movement, we begin discussing the origin of the human measurement system. The entire world owes a thank you to Femi Krasniqi for this discovery. Quick crash code. Did y'all see how I did that? Just for the guys that be watching, stealing my shit. You see how easy that is? To give credit to somebody, to say thank you. That's it. It didn't make me less intelligent, or just to thank him. See how I did that? Let me show you how easy that was. Look, my head didn't explode, nothing. It doesn't cost you anything. Watch this. On page 236 in Race Hustlers, Volume 5, The Movement, we begin discussing the origin of the human measurement system. The entire world owes Femi Krasniqi for this discovery. See how easy that was? Quick crash course. Energy equals spirit. Energy equals power. Free energy equals free power. This is why you are not properly educated about anything that concerns energy, not even your own body. Global power is based on natural power and the ability to harness that power. Even in Hollywood, they lower the voice of male actors in certain roles to make them seem more powerful. Nikola Tesla died breathing simply because he was going to create free power for the masses. That would have made everyone equals. Creating an even playing field is the ancient fight of the Masons, and maintaining control of power is the secret game of the church. Each cell builds sugars, nucleotides, and small projects atom by atom. This is literally the most advanced chemistry on Earth and cannot be duplicated in labs by humans. The large projects are different. Proteins and nucleic acids require more work. These start with amino acids and nucleotides, and those start as nucleosides. This constant construction is really the blue magic of life. Water is the master builder. This starts with its amphoteric nature and ends with the EnQi cycle. The small construction projects and cells are what we know of as biochemistry and neurochemistry. The exchange, storage, manipulation, transformation, stacking, arranging, etc. of atoms is what chemistry is about. The information released from these chemicals or atomic reactions as light is chemiluminescence. The fact that you are reading this means you are in chemiluminescence college. The large construction projects are built with this information. Okay, if you can't, if you don't have the book, you can't see the little picture right there, right? The histones and nuclear DNA are designed by this information to further the ability of cells to perform the daily construction we call life. Earlier cells used plasmids for information storage. We still have a wide variety of plasmids floating around in cells as ancient libraries. In the world of single cells, plasmids and bacteriophages were the central progenitors of horizontal gene transfer. Nowadays, they are OGs. DNA and RNA work similarly. An enzyme called polymerase will unwind the DNA at the speed or within the time frame of 30 nucleotides per second. Build a complementary strand, which is a clone. It builds nucleotide by nucleotide. DNA is called by some a winding staircase to the heavens, and some even go as far as to use the numbers 3, 5, 7 to describe this process of perpetual construction, right? If you don't know, in biochemistry, the mnemonic device for DNA replication is called the 357 method. Okay, so I'm going to try to start, this is just what it is. You can't make this stuff up. I know some of y'all are like, what is EnQi talking about? I don't know. Anyway, bottom of page 382. 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 1. In the 480th year, after the Israelites had come out of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month of Ziv, the 2nd month, he began to build the temple of the Lord. The temple that King Solomon built for the Lord was 60 cubits long, 20 wide, and 30 high. The portico at the front of the main hall of the temple extended the width of the temple, that is 20 cubits, and projected 10 cubits. From the front of the temple, he made narrow clerestory windows in the temple. Against the walls of the main hall and inner sanctuary, he built a structure around the building in which there were side rooms. The lowest floor was 5 cubits wide, the middle floor 6 cubits, and the third floor was 7. He made offset ledges around the outside of the temple so that nothing would be inserted into the temple walls. In building the temple, only blocks dressed at the quarry were used, and no hammer, chisel, or any other iron tool was heard at the temple site while it was being built. The entrance to the lowest floor was on the south side of the temple. A stairway led up to the middle level and from there to the third. So he built the temple and completed it, roofing it with beams and cedar planks. And he built the side rooms all along the temple. The height of each was 5 cubits, and they were attached to the temple by beams of cedar. They were attached to the temple by beams of cedar. The word of the Lord came to Solomon. As for this temple you are building, if you follow my decrees, the word of the Lord came to Solomon. Now, this is line number 12 right here coming up. Line number 12 says, as for this temple you are building, if you follow my decrees, carry out my regulations, and keep all my commandments and obey them, I will fulfill through you the promise I gave to David your father. I'm just saying. That's in line number 12. And I will live among the Israelites and will not abandon my people of Israel. So Solomon built the temple and completed it. He lined its interior walls with cedar boards, paneling them from the floor of the temple to the ceiling, and covered the floor of the temple with planks of pine. He partitioned off 20 cubits at the rear of the temple with cedar boards from floor to ceiling to form within the temple an inner sanctuary, the most holy place. The main hall in the front of this room was 40 cubits long. The inside of the temple was cedar, carved with gourds and open flowers. Everything was cedar. No stone was to be seen. He prepared the inner sanctuary within the temple to set the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord there. The inner sanctuary was 20 cubits long, 20 wide, and 20 high. He overlaid the inside with pure gold, and he also overlaid the altar of cedar. Solomon covered the inside of the temple with pure gold, and he extended gold chains across the front of the inner sanctuary, which was overlaid with gold. So he overlaid the whole interior with gold. He also overlaid the gold with, he also overlaid with gold the altar that belonged to the inner sanctuary. The inner sanctuary, he made a pair of cherubim of olive wood, each 10 cubits high. One wing of the first cherub was 5 cubits long, and the other wing 5 cubits, 10 cubits from wingtip to wingtip. The second cherub also measured 10 cubits, for the two cherub were identical in size and shape. The height of each cherub was 10 cubits. He placed the cherub inside the innermost room of the temple with their wings spread out. The wing of one cherub touched one wall, while the wing of the other cherub touched the other wall. Their wings touched each other in the middle of the room. He overlaid the cherub with gold. And on the walls all around the temple in both the inner and outer rooms, he carved cherub, palm trees, and open flowers. He also covered the floors of both the inner and outer rooms of the temple with gold. For the entrance of the inner sanctuary, he made doors of olive wood with 5-sided jambs. And on the 2 olive wood doors, he carved cherub, palm trees, and open flowers, and overlaid the cherub and palm trees with beaten gold. In the same way, he made 4-sided jambs of olive wood for the entrance to the main hall. He also made 2 pine doors, each having 2 leaves that turned into sockets. He carved cherubim palm trees and open flowers on them and overlaid them with gold, hammered evenly over the carvings. And he built the inner courtyard of 3 courses of dressed stone and 1 course of trimmed cedar beams. The foundation of the temple of the Lord was laid in the 4th year, in the month of Ziv. In the 11th year, in the month of Bul, the 8th month, the temple was finished in all its details according to its specifications. He had spent 7 years building it. Now we have, on the bottom of page 285, we just have some numbers, right? So the Hebrew Septuagint, 440th. Number 2, 90 feet or 27 meters, and 30 feet, about 9 meters. So what we have is a breakdown of the math of the story we just read, right? So if you got your book, I'll let you look it up so that you could see if you have your book, you'll be able to look and see if there are any significant patterns of those numbers, right? I'll just leave that there. We may or may not get to the idea of melanin in the Bible, but for now, you see those numbers. Do you see the larger connections? On page 236 in Race Hustlers Volume 5, The Movement, we begin discussing the origins of the human measurement system. The entire world owes Femi Krasniqi for the discovery. So again, we're giving thanks, right? At any rate, the royal finger measurement or observation was stolen by the French and renamed the centimeter. Amperes, Celsius, moles, candelas, seconds, and kilograms all originate with the first measurement. The single drop of water on a hydrophobic surface. Modern day scientists also say now that the key to water being able to create structure is contact with a hydrophobic surface. Should have put the word biological, right? Because your let me put a note to self to either change that to hydrophilic or add bilayer information, right? Because your cell membranes are bilayers, 2 layers. One is hydrophobic, the other side is, so you have to have a polar nature. So it has to be water soluble, which is a part of the problem with sugar. Sugar is polar, but it blocks electricity. Longer story. But your proteins inside the cell that are built all have a hydrophobic side and a hydrophilic side, right? The hydrophobic side is so that you have, it basically, it turns all of these structures that need to be in water into little magnets, right? You have your north and your south, right? Your hydrophilic, hydrophobic. Water is the true master builder, the only builder that uses the rocks from the quarry, right, in building the temple. You had to know we had a reason for reading that whole story, right? Water is the true master builder, the only builder that uses the rocks from the quarry in building the temple. Only blocks dressed at the quarry were used. No hammer, chisel, and/or any other iron tool was heard at the temple site while it was being built. Cells primarily use the 4 known nucleotides and 20 known amino acids, possible 23 now with the selenium family included. The problem with particular jobs became, how do we relate nucleotides to amino acids? We extended Old Faithful to the task of creating the master blueprint for blue magic. Old Faithful is what, guys? Binary coding, right? Think musically. You're supposed to be musical niggas, right? The staff, the lines the music is written on, each block of music is divided by a bar. The bar makes sense out of the notes, exactly like the spaces between the words, or even further, periods at the end of sentences. This is what was written in ancient Kemet about Jehudi being the creator of sound by making or applying the mutes in between the sounds, the silences, right? This is another aspect of masonry. The silence around a sound creates its geometry. 2 bars in a code create 3 measures. This is your codon. Each set of 3 nucleotides, right, is 1 codon. 1 codon equals an amino acid. Nuclear DNA and mitochondrial DNA have separate lineages and hard drives. In fact, we have discussed 3 different types of hard drives thus far: plasmids, nuclear DNA, mitochondrial DNA. The large projects are different. Proteins and nucleic acids require more work. These start with amino acids and nucleotides, which start from nucleosides. This constant construction is really the blue magic of life. Water is the master builder. This starts with its amphoteric nature and ends with the EnQi cycle. Ribosomes are like those crazy construction workers that we see in the old skyscraper videos from the before time, right? You see them old videos with the guys walking around like 100 flights up, building the Empire State Building or the World Trade Center, and they don't got no protection. They just walking around, eating sandwiches, drinking beers and shit. That's how ribosomes are, right? Actually, let's see if we can find some ribosomes.
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's just be real, folks. The Democrats have destroyed our major cities. Their policies have made us less safe. They've given us less economic opportunity, and they've provided less educational opportunities for our children. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I know what it takes to improve these issues. I've got great working relationships already in D.C. I've spent the last 10 years of my life building my political resume so that that one of us, somebody who thinks like we do, could get into DC and make a difference. I want you to visit aliforcongress.com to find out more about my campaign. The Democrats have already done enough, and now they're putting illegal aliens in front of people like you and me, folks whose ancestors built this country and made it what it is today. So again, I'm asking you to support me in my run for U.S. House District 12 here in North Carolina. You don't have to live in North Carolina to support, because what happens in Congress affects the entire country. So again, it's aliforcongress.com. I hope to have your support. Peace and love, y'all.
Okay, hold on. This video doesn't really have ribosomes as the star of the show. They're kind of like extras in the movie. They're like extras in the movie over here. Yeah, everything is about let's see what we got here. Hold on. Ooh, look at those histones. Now that's crazy. That's a nice little view. Yeah, those are histones right there that the DNA is wrapped up around. I like this because they give you the little size magnification in the bottom left-hand corner here. So we might not get to see the ribosomes, but we will see some cool shit. We will see some cool shit though. Oh, they're showing everybody. Everybody in the club getting tipsy. Yo, those look like crazy cornrows, right? Those look like the African hair braiding. Like, did you see that? This is crazy. So hair braiding is genetic memory, bro. Chill. You can't tell me it's not. Look at this shit here. Hair braiding is genetic memory. Yeah, y'all need to see this work happening. When we hear about this stuff, like the teachers and the rest of the scientists, like they use the word, it's like a pet peeve of mine. Let me tell you about this pet peeve real quick, and then we could go back to watching this video. Hold on. I know you're like, hold up, don't stop on the vitamin D part, but listen to this. This is a pet peeve of mine. And I know this happened to you, right? People chewing while they're talking to you. No. But I won't do that again. My bad. The pet peeve I have is when people talk about my property, but instead of saying yours, they say the word the. Because you know you're getting ready to get violated when somebody does that. They'd be like, yo, can I use the laptop? I go right along with it. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no such a thing as the laptop. There is no the laptop. You mean my laptop? You mean, can you use my laptop? Because there's a my laptop, but there's no the laptop. We're not going to be ambiguous about the description of whose property it is, because later on, yeah, it gets crazy. So no, there's no the laptop. There's a my laptop, right? Right, come on, EnQi. We want to see the damn video. All right, my bad. My bad. I'm just saying, when they say the cell does this and the cell does that, and then they show these diagrams, it's very easy for you to think that like this stuff is just happening by itself until you realize that the reason why you can't see the water is because this is all happening inside of water. It's like we looking into a fishbowl right now. That's why there's little, like the little jiggly movement to it. It's because it's swimming in water. It's floating in water. That's the whole idea of this, right? You need to see this magic. This is the blue magic right here. You got to see this. Try to visualize it. Can you just visualize it? Before I go to sleep, check the guns in the closet. Not proteins, histones. See how disrespectful it gets? Now, mind you, all this is only happening, like, this is just happening inside the nucleus of the cell. So this is not even the whole cell. Like, this is just in one little tiny area inside the cell. This is inside the nucleus. That's inside the nucleus of a cell. Like, that's just in one little tiny area, bro. All right. This process takes about 20. Okay, ribosomes are like those crazy construction workers we see in those old skyscraper videos from before time. The guys walking around on beams 100 stories up with no harnesses, eating lunches and drinking beers. Ribosomes set each unit into place and check the work done thus far. In many ways, the ribosomes act as a foreman. This process takes about 22 seconds for most proteins at the speed of 20 amino acids per second, right? So you'll notice that that number 22 is one of those numbers that keep popping up, right? The human genome has been calculated thus far to contain over 3 billion nucleotides, encoding for over 30,000 proteins. This constant construction is really the blue magic of life. Water is the master builder. This starts with its amphoteric nature and ends with the EnQi cycle. After creating all these lovely gadgets, water must bring them to life. Light energy is harnessed one photon at a time. Electrons are harnessed one electron at a time. Movement is harnessed via potential kinetic energy, and electrochemical energy is harnessed by the movement of ions. Okay, let me say that again. The human genome has been calculated thus far to contain over 3 billion nucleotides, encoding for over 30,000 proteins. This constant construction is really the blue magic of life. Water is the master builder. This starts with its amphoteric nature and ends with the EnQi cycle. After creating all these lovely gadgets, water must bring them to life. Light energy is harnessed one photon at a time. Electrons are harnessed one electron at a time. Movement is harnessed via potential kinetic energy, and electrochemical energy is harnessed by the movement of ions. An ion is an atom or molecule with a net electrical charge. The charge of an electron is considered to be negative by convention, and this charge is equal and opposite to the charge of a proton, which is considered to be positive by convention. The net charge of an ion is not zero because its total number of electrons is unequal to its total number of protons. A cation is a positively charged ion with fewer electrons than protons, while an anion is a negatively charged ion with more electrons than protons. Opposite electric charges are pulled towards one another by electrostatic force, so cations and anions attract each other and readily form ionic compounds. Ions consist of only a single atom, are termed atomic or monatomic ions, while two or more atoms form molecular ions or polyatomic ions. In this case, physical ionization in a fluid creates spontaneous molecular collisions where each generated pair consists of a free electron and a positive ion. Ions are also created by chemical interactions such as the dissolution of a salt in liquids, or by other means such as passing a direct current through a conducting solution dissolving an anode via ionization. Electrochemical energy is special. It's a compound form of energy. However, cells process this energy ion by ion. The base of human engineering is chemiluminescence. That means chemical reactions and chemical energy is the primary currency of life. In fact, the ancient Kemetic savior's name is inscribed in your soul with the King's English. Horus is his name. He was the Egyptian holistic god. Phosphorus or Phos-Horus, PH, and we spell it, so you can get a better idea of what we're saying. And the name of our primary element of light is our primary source of time and bioelectricity. ATP is a nucleotide, FYI. ATP is a very strange nucleotide because it is composed of repulsive units. Very easy to separate, but almost impossible to put back together. ATP has 3 parts: adenosine, ribose, and phosphates. ATP has 3 sets of phosphates. Phosphates are negatively charged. This means putting even 2 of them together is the same as smashing 2 magnets together with the same polarity. Yeah, 2 north ends push each other away. Your cells are stronger than you are and clearly better builders. Your cells can get 3 same end magnets together. ATPase or ATP synthase is the tree of life. The FO motor is the wheel of life. The branches of the tree of life have 3 sections. Using single particle experiments, Yasuda et al. Showed the Y subunit rotation tended to dwell at 120 degrees. Intervals when in condition of low ATP concentration. One may conjecture that the 3 positions represent the low energy ground states, which may correspond to the conformations observed in the ground state crystal structure reported by Bowler et al. Right? These are the guys who did those are the scientists that did the initial research. Right? Each catalytic site would transition through the 3 conformations during a 360-degree rotation, and different sites will complete its cycle every 120-degree rotation. This model implies that 3 ATP are hydrolyzed or synthesized for each 360-degree rotation. The National Library of Medicine. The rotary mechanism of the ATP synthase 360 divided by 120 is 3. The master number. 3 branches, 3 ATPs, 3 parts of each ATP. Movement equals traveling. Exercise. All traveling men should be exercising. If you're not traveling, you are becoming okay, I'm smoking a little bit of crack right now. I'm getting delirious. I need to eat. I'm hungry. Yeah. regular food. If you're not traveling, how are you becoming better men? The cell knows how to blend energies like using ATP for hydrogen or sodium ions and vice versa. Sodium ions are used by neurons and nerves. This is why the EnQi cycle is so important. Occult means cut off from view by interposing something. Your biochemistry is the highest form of occult science that there has ever been. Don't let the word occult fool you. The reason these occult sciences were and are hidden is because of the power contained in each cell, each human. A bolt of lightning is 1 billion volts. Yet a human cell generates 0.07 volts of electricity at 37 trillion cells. That's 2.62 trillion volts in the human body. I'm going to read that again. A bolt of lightning is 1 billion volts. Your body is generating almost 3 trillion volts. Just so you understand. In the underworld of Osiris, 1,000 years is 1 day for God. Is the Bible telling us that God is the next size up in the grand Russian doll motif? The underworld of Osiris is within. It's the rabbit hole, down 1,000 times in scale to the size of a cell. And then scaled down from the size of a cell, another 1,000 times to the size of the inhabitants of the cell. This world is controlled by melanin. This is the world of the perfect black. You can even say triple stage darkness. Light microscopes cannot even pierce this darkness. The closest we can get is an electron microscopy or X-ray crystallography. This will at least give us the arrangement of atoms. Then we could feed that data into a computer and re-image what we have going on at the cellular level or subcellular level anyway. The average proton, okay, this classes, we finished it. I'm going to get something to eat. The average protein has 5,000 atoms and is 1,000th the size of a cell, or 1,000th the size of 10 microns. There is no such thing as gravity at this level of existence. The sole controller of life at this level is water. Water is the maker, the owner, the gel of the planet Earth, mother of civilization, nature of the universe. Yeah, I had to put those little bars in there. All right. So when we pick back up, we'll probably start right there on page 292. Right? If the cell is triple stage darkness, super black, and nothing can see anything, how do the different things inside the cell recognize one another? Right? So what are the modes of recognition inside of the cell? Right? What are the modes of recognition inside the cell?
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey, hold on. Do y'all want to see Yahki again before we leave? Yeah, hold on. I think I deleted it. Okay, damn. Okay, I can't be petty. My bad. I deleted it.
Peace to the family. This is Abdul Ali, candidate for U.S. House District 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's just be real, folks. The Democrats have destroyed our major cities. Their policies have made us less safe. They've given us less economic opportunity, and they've provided less educational opportunities for our children.
It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, you heard?